Elon Musk. So Elon Musk made big waves recently with getting on Twitter with Bitcoin, with Dogecoin, and then Tesla buying $1.5 billion of Bitcoin on their balance sheet. What are your thoughts on this? Do you agree with Elon Musk's move here to go into Bitcoin? What are your thoughts on his tweets on Dogecoin? It seems like he's propping this up, but does it even have anything of value, this coin?
He's trolling the Securities Exchange Commission. This is what you do when you're the world's richest man and you're a bit eccentric and you've become Howard Hughes. He'll be saving his urine in no time. Actually, I've met Elon a few times. He used to come to my alma mater back before he was super rich and famous because he recruited aerospace engineers for SpaceX there.
Could Elon Musk be setting his eyes on Cardano? After Elon Musk tweeted out announcing Tesla would stop accepting purchases via Bitcoin due to energy consumption concerns and environmental impacts, the rumor mill began churning once again. Now, here is why people think Elon Musk could have his eyes set on Cardano in the future. First of all the major cryptocurrencies, Cardano has by far the best energy efficiency as seen by the energy consumed per transaction. This is outside of Ripple, which is a much more centralized currency, and Dogecoin, the meme coin. Adding further fuel to the fire, Charles Hoskinson, founder of Cardano, tweeted out to Elon Musk, "Are we finally going to have that Cardano conversation? Come to my farm in Longmont with Kimbal, got sweet tea and mini donkeys." Even further, Charles Hoskinson and Elon Musk have met numerous times in the past, with Elon Musk being a regular at Charles's university, so the two individuals are definitely familiar with each other. Add all this to the fork in the road fiasco that some of you might remember from a few months back, and you can see why the rumor mill started to swirl. However, just to balance opinions out, I will bring up that Charles Hoskinson did recently tweet out calling Elon Musk an autistic billionaire, so take that as you will. In this video, with the recent ADA run-up, Charles Hoskinson explains very simply what exactly Cardano does and the value proposition behind it. He also explains how he knows Elon Musk. Also, only a tiny percentage of my viewers are actually subscribed. If you enjoy the video, consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind. Enjoy the video.
There, and his brother lives in Boulder. He has a restaurant there called The Kitchen. Kimball's a really nice guy. But anyway, basically they took a position in Bitcoin. They couldn't go around and be like, yay, Bitcoin's great, because maybe that's market manipulation, right? But if you say, hey, buy Dogecoin, which they don't hold and they have nothing to do with, how do you get Dogecoin? You buy some Bitcoin to buy your Dogecoin. So it actually manipulates the Bitcoin market by manipulating the Dogecoin market, especially for newcomers into the ecosystem. And when they get tired of Dogecoin, what do they sell it into? Bitcoin. They become Bitcoin holders. So if you're cynical, it was a very clever way to boost a thing that he already holds. But on the other hand, maybe he was just trying to prove a point that these markets are very malleable. Who knows? He's a weird guy in that respect. And he's a true genius, and they look at the world fundamentally differently than most people do. And discerning their motives is kind of like, finding what's funny to Charlie Chaplin. It'll be weird and surprising to you, and you're not funny at all, but somehow to him it's the funniest joke in the world. So I have no idea. On the other hand, I think what he did do is convince Larry Ellison and a lot of these other guys to start taking Bitcoin into the treasuries of their companies. And Bitcoin is the gateway drug. It's the socially acceptable way. It's almost like the Catholic Church runs everything. So how do you find a way to be an atheist? So you become a church philosopher, and then you could talk about the nature of God, and then you're allowed to write arguments against the nature of God. But you're not an atheist, right? You're just talking around so you can come to the inevitable conclusion that God exists. So similarly, how do you get away from the dollar as a U.S. Fortune 500 company? Well, you buy some Bitcoin, but you're not getting away from the dollar. You're just diversifying your treasury, this type of a deal. So I think that's what we see happening. And it's a super bullish thing for our industry, because the Treasury Department will not be able to regulate cryptocurrencies with a heavy hand, because anything they do to any of the cryptocurrencies will also impact Bitcoin. And if the Fortune 500s hold it, they own the government. They're just going to say no. And the government will say, okay, we tried.
Awesome.
What is it exactly that Cardano does for people who are not eyeball deep in the digital asset space?
Yeah, so basically it's just a collection of protocols and technology that allows you to transform, store, and manage value, identity, and governance. So if you have an instrument of value, that could be a stock, a bond, a commodity, a token, an NFT, like a Pokemon card. It doesn't really matter. You need some place to store it, transmit it. You need some place to build contractual relationships around it. Like, I'll give you my Pokemon cards if you mow my lawn, that type of a deal. Okay. Identity is, who are you? Normally we take that for granted. Oh, I have a passport, I have a driver's license, but you have credit score. Is it a fair credit score? Maybe, maybe not. For some bizarre reason, my secretary has a higher credit score than I do, and I'm a billionaire. So I'm just trying to figure that one out. So there's something about that system that doesn't seem intrinsically right, but okay. And so there's a lot of these things that don't make a lot of sense in how identity is brokered and handled in our world, but in the developing world, it's non-existent in many places. There's tons of people there that are brilliant, that are honest, that are very hardworking, and they are completely shut off from the global economy because there's no way to assess whether that counterparty is reputable, trustworthy. It should be seamless from one system to another system. And that's where there's Fortune 500. What about medical records? I've been 52 countries in the last few years, and I'm thinking, gosh, what if I got in a car accident in Tanzania and I'm unconscious? And there's a Tanzanian doctor calls my doctor in Colorado and says, hey, Charles is unconscious, but I need all of his medical records because I'm trying to treat him. No, trust me, I'm real and legit. He can't talk to you, though, because he's unconscious. How does he get my medical records to treat me? I could be gone for days, and there might be vital information there. So there's just a simple problem brokering the movement of medical records from one country to another country. And that's the point of these protocols, is that there's a million of these problems, whether it be the adulteration of drugs, like Mongolia, a third of all the medicine in that country is in some way bad. It could be expired or mislabeled or counterfeit. So if you're trying to take an antibiotic, you have 1/3 chance of getting a bad pill. That's a problem. And the point of our industry, this technology, is to say it's a Swiss Army knife of protocols where you can build applications on top of it that handle that brokering of value, identity, and governance so that you can solve real problems. And you can solve them in a way where everybody participating in them, they all know the rules up front. And here's where it gets really cool, and this is kind of the capstone of all of it. When you go to Starbucks or McDonald's or these places, usually you pay in dollars or euros, and they get paid in dollars or euros. But what if we could move to a world of a universal wallet where your wealth is no longer represented in a sovereign currency? It's whatever the heck you want, and it's as diversified as you want. You can have airline miles and silver and gold and stocks and bonds and real estate and your labor. You can pre-sell your hours, all of these things into a giant wallet, okay? Along with maybe dollars or whatever. And when you go to Starbucks and you pick whatever you want. Maybe you're going to sell 0.0003% of your house as a token. And they get paid in whatever they want. So maybe Starbucks that year says, we want to take a position in silver. So for 30% of our transactions, we'll be paid in silver. So you pay in your house, they get paid in silver. And there's these decentralized rails that figure out how to sort all that out, transform all that value, do it at a very efficient price, and settle instantly with no counterparty risk. Everybody gets paid in what they want, where they want. So you move from wealth as I'm this many dollars to wealth as, whatever portfolio you want. That is the primary utility of this entire thing, is to create a system where we can emerge up to that. Everyone has access to it. Everyone's a participant. Billions of people are all collectively in the same things, and it's fraud-free, corruption-free. No government can step in and shut somebody out. You all have access to the same river.